Now, moving on, is the hairdressing industry on the brink? Well, salon owners say Rachel Reeves' budget is the final nail in the coffin, with tax hikes and rising wages making it impossible to stay afloat. Now, with job losses looming and no new apprentices by 2027, is this another blow for British businesses struggling to survive? Well, I'm delighted to say I'm joined in the studio by the award-winning hairdresser, Michael Van Clarke. Michael, pleasure to have you in the studio. Thank you for joining us. We've heard from the farming industry, from hospitality, from so many industries, the pinch you've been placed under by this budget. Tell us how bad it is for the hairdressing industry.
Well, we noticed the change a few weeks before the election last year. So mid-June, we had a sudden drop-off in trade, and June is a peak year for us, so this was very unusual. About 8 or 9% of a drop-off in turnover, which is a lot to deal with. And frankly, it's got worse since, because the budget was another nail in the coffin. And you know, we're at the sharp end of society. We get to hear what people are feeling. You know, we have clients that are leaving the country. We have clients that are setting up their businesses. They don't want to work in this environment. And it's something that we've had to rethink in terms of the costs of our apprentices. And we have a good history of training people, not just young school leavers, but older people, 21 and plus, even in their 30s, that are coming back to work. And looking at the double whammy of minimum wage and the national insurance hike, we're looking at something like now a 21-year-old costing about 38,000 in take-ins for them to end up with 22,000. That other 16,000 is a hit going to the Treasury. And business is going to reshape themselves, and it's really going to deprive a lot of these people from the opportunity to engage in their first step of the ladder of a career.
And it's obviously going to have two effects. Either you cut back on your staff training, your staff retention, your staff hiring, or you've got to put prices up. And when you start putting prices up, of course, people are feeling the pinch themselves. No doubt many of the customers are telling you that.
That's right, and you know, there's only so much people are prepared to pay in a free market. But I don't know. The government just seems to think that they can keep taking from business, and somehow people will just keep paying. It doesn't work like that. You know, there's a limit to what people are prepared to pay.
And how many salons do we think nationwide are going to have to shut up shop?
Well, I think it could end up with 10% of the industry closing down. I mean, certainly at the upper end, you know, there's a little bit more latitude, but you know, you also have businesses that are very established. They need staff, and like with retail, hospitality, these are entry-level jobs for people. And if you deprive them of that opportunity, they will lay idle or go on benefits. And I think that's the short-sightedness of the government, not to see that this is a step into the world of work.
Thank you very much for coming in today and sharing your expertise, and wish you the best of luck in your industry. Thank you very much. That's the award-winning hairdresser, Michael Van Clarke. An absolute pleasure to have you in the studio, sir. Thank you. Now, moving on, if you are in search of some winter